Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. I'll start off by telling you the card pieces that you're going to need. And they are, bring my book over so that I know. Well, you don't want to see my scribble. Move that over a bit. Okay, right, we're going to start with a basic black card base, which is 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored at 4 1/8 and folded, and centimetres, that's 21 by 14.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 10.5. And then a piece of Tip Top Taupe, which measures 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches, which is 10.25 by 14.25 centimetres. And a piece of Going Wild DSP, which measures 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 centimetres by 14 centimetres. And then you need a piece of basic black. This measures 4 inches by 1 1/2 inches, which is 10.25 by 3.75. A piece of Tip Top Taupe, which measures 4 inches by 1 3/8, which is 10.25 by 3.5 centimetres. And a piece of Whisper White, which measures 4 inches by 1 1/4 inches, and that's 10.25 by 3.25. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the stamping across the front here. The stamp set I'm using is Wetlands, and I'm going to use the waders and the grass and one of the sentiments. Not sure which one I'm going to use yet. So the way I do this is I use a scrap piece of paper, and with the waders here, the actual stamp is just these here, okay, just those. So we need to stamp those 4 at the end. The problem is, in between these two, they're like 2 sets of waders, but in between there's that little ripple, and if you don't cover that up, you get a little black mark on the edge here, and it looks more like a mistake than another ripple. So I like to avoid that, and this is how I do it. Obviously my best friend when I'm doing this card is my Stamp-a-ma-jig, so they're all ready. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stamp up the right way, easier, and just take some tape, and what I've done is I've cut it into a point. The reason I've done that is because if I keep it straight, I start covering up that ripple, and I don't want to do that. So with it pointed, make sure I've got a piece to hold on to when I need to pick it up. I can just point that in just to cover that piece up. It's not touching the ripple underneath it, it's not touching the wader by the side of it, and it's not going to have anything coming off the edge. So I'm using the black archival ink. That's not very clever. Right, so the important thing about when you're doing this is to remember to take that bit of tape off before you stamp down. Right, I'm going to position my birds where I want them to go, like that. I'm going to place my Stamp-a-ma-jig in position. Put that down, and then lift that tape up, put it somewhere safe, It's clinging onto my tweezers there. Right, now I'm going to put the first stamp down. Okay, no wobbling, just a nice bit of pressure, not too much, just enough. There we go. See, no mark on the edge there. So now we do the next one here. So if we bring this back, just position it where you want it to be. I think that looks about right. Put the Stamp-a-ma-jig back in place. And this time we're going to stamp the whole stamp. There we go. All fits in beautifully. So I'm going to put that to one side to dry. And then I'm going to do the grasses, that's right. So we'll have the design over. This, I think I said, is from the Go Wild Designer Series paper stack. And the reason I really liked the card that I did, where have I put it now? The zigzag lines on it makes it look like water. Oh, of course it's that side, isn't it? Oh dear, I can hear you, Audrey. Right, okay, I just think that these zigzags look like water. It's got that kind of effect, and I was going through the packet to see if there was anything else that would give that effect, which is why I'm trying this one, and I think this may well look like water once the card is all put together. So to decide where I'm going to put this, I'm going to line my base along the bottom of my paper here, and I'm going to bring my black band in and decide where I want this to go. Now I know from this that I want to leave a gap for my sentiment, and I need to leave an equal amount there and there, above and below. So I think that probably looks about right, maybe a bit high. I think it should be about 1.25 inches up. Let me have a look. No, that's more like inch and a half from here, isn't it? Yes, that's about 1.25 inches up from here. The base of the black is about 1.25 inches up from the base of the DSP. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a mark on here on my paper, so that I know that once this is lined up at the bottom, that's where it's going to be the top of my black piece. So I'm going to take the grass and my template for my Stamp-a-ma-jig. Now on this, you'll see that piece, excuse me, that piece there comes up high. Let me see, move that out of the way. That's better. Okay, so that comes up. If it comes above the black, it's going to look as if it's floating in midair. So that is going to be cut. I'm going to line that bit up with that bit there, so that by the time I put the black strip over it, it's going to just about cover that. Right, so that's there. I'm going to put this piece wherever I want it. I'm not going to be too precise about this. Now that looks about level with that. Got a couple of bits coming off. I don't mind that. So let's hold that in place. Put that down. Oh, what's that? God, for a horrible moment there I thought that was ink. Right, let's try that bit again. Just pop that on the ink there. Right, again, that end one that's sort of floating, I've got it up level with this. This is more or less level at the bottom. It's not precise, but that's fine. Okay, let's try again. Again, no wobbling, just keep it nice and firm, but without squashing it down too much. There we go, that's brilliant. So then the next one, I'm going to bring it down slightly. Okay, so you can see this is coming down lower here. What I try and avoid doing is I try avoiding that overlapping with that one. If it does, it really doesn't matter. It's really is a matter of choice. In fact, I think I'm going to do that one there. There we go, let's ink that up. I normally get 3.5 of these across this from side to side. Okay, so let's have another one. Now this one I'm going to put up again. Remembering not to come too high because I don't want it too much above that one. In fact, if I tilt it slightly, doesn't matter. Just looks like the wind is blowing a bit. There we go. That's good. And then the last one is going to really come off the edge here. There we go, that's fine. Okay, so up and down, that's fine. I don't need that one again now. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my sentiment down here. Now I can choose between happy birthday, thank you for your kindness, and thinking of you. I think on this one I'll do thinking of you. I'll show you why later. Right, now all I need is to put it down here somewhere. I know that that's going to be going round about there. So I want it so that I've got the same gap there as there. So where's my template? Thinking of you. And I think that should be about right. I can see my paper moving. Let's make sure that hasn't gone wonky. I think that's okay. There we go, lovely, nice and straight. So all we need to do now is to put our card together. So we've got these and these and this, and I'm going to use Tombow for my sticking mine together. just to let you know that this Going Wild Designer Series paper stack is on the retiring list. So if you want some of this, you must order it ASAP. Although at the end of the video I'm going to show you some other papers that I think will still work, although I think, in fact that's on the retiring list as well, but you may already have one or the other of these. Or something else that you think would go just as nicely or even better than the ones that I've used. And we do have a brilliant selection of DSPs. There we go, that's those. Now let's do these pieces. Now these all match up towards the end. In fact, both ends should match up. In fact, that black, the white rather doesn't, because it matches up brilliantly. I might have to cut that piece off. Just wait and see how it fits onto the black piece first. That's not very good at all, is it? Let me just... Oh, let's use these scissors. These are better. Well, better for a job like this. Okay, so I'm just turning it over from the back and cutting the overlap off. That's much better. And then I'm going to pop this onto my card here. I'm going to get this ready lined up because I want to make sure my lines are straight. I really do recommend this grid paper. I don't know how many sheets there are on it. I think it's 100. But I was thinking this morning, because this is the end of an pack, and in 4 years this is just finishing my second packet, which I think is pretty good. Right, okay. I think this has gone a bit... I've gone a bit too high on that one, but it's only going to be me criticising it. I don't think anybody else will notice. Right, let's just make sure I've got everything straight. Yep, that looks fine. Okay, that looks quite a lot higher, I think. Oh, there you go. It's not, if anything, it's lower. And it's definitely smaller than that one. But the reason for that is when I'm doing my own cards here, when I'm playing and coming up with ideas, I don't actually measure all of these properly. Like the gaps here, they vary slightly, whereas on here they match top and bottom. Anyway, so that's it. Let me just show you these other two that I made. And the DSP that I've used on here is from the Going Places Designer Series paper stack. And that one is in the Spring Summer catalogue, but it is also retiring. Now what I did was I wanted to see other papers, so that if you didn't have this paper stack, maybe you've got this one. And that I think looks really lovely. I think that's gone really well. This one I'm not so sure of, because I'm not sure the black lines are right. To me that looks more like a thunderstorm. It's quite funny really. Wasn't meant to be, but it does look like a thunderstorm. Maybe I should have put it sideways. But there you go. They're all just different ideas, and I do like to show you, you know, things that you might think, that's a great idea, or no, I agree with you, Jan, don't like that, won't do that. At least it saves you from, I was going to say making mistakes, but they're not mistakes. Experimenting with things that don't work out. Anyway, many thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions, please ask. I'm always very happy to help you. If you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button. If you'd like to buy any of the products that I featured here, please click on the link in the box below, the 24/7 link, and that'll take you straight to my shop. And in the shop you will find the list of retired products, but a lot of things do sell out very quickly, so don't leave it too late if you do want to try for these. And the last thing is, I put all the measurements and the products up on the screen, but depending on what device you're watching the video on, it may not appear. So I put all the details in the box below, so it's all nice and handy for you, so it's close by. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.